Hello, this video is going to cover using Academic Search Complete for your research project topic in Composition 2. Now, this video is made for my online students, so you'll be using the off-campus search unless you are physically on campus logged into a computer. If you're at home, at another school, or on your laptop on campus, you'll need to use the off-campus. To do that, you'll click on this and you'll enter in your name and then your library card number, which you should have. Since I am on campus, I'll be using the Academic Search Complete on campus. It will take you to a new window. I'm going to enlarge the screen just for one bit. And we'll look at a few topics, show you how to use it to narrow down and get a better idea of what is out there. So, previously I was using cell phone usage. I'm just going to leave it even bigger and look at just cell phones. I'm going to even make it plural. What we get are 51,750 search results that use the term cell phone. So it's using just the term cell phone, not mobile phone or anything like that. Some of the things that we can do to narrow down our search, well, we have these dates. We have academic journals, EBSCO full text only, and cover stories. Down here we'll see there's 19,000 academic journals, 15,000 magazines, 8,000 newspapers, and then several other things. You'll see links to videos. You'll see all sorts of stuff. The problem being is that because we started off very broad, we have to narrow it down. Now, if I just wanted to look up cell phones in schools or cell phone usage or cell phone addiction, I could look those things up. But I like to start about as broad as I can. The reason being is because we have these limiters down here. So I always use thesaurus search terms. So there's all these things right here, cell phone systems, but you click on this, it's going to enlarge it. Now we see some other things. And what we start to see based on the search terms is that this is all about the practical uses of cell phones, from the industry all the way to the histories. If we look more on subjects, we can see United States, Facebook, developing countries, all sorts of things. But what this does, it shows us there's a lot of things that are going on with cell phones beyond this idea of cell phone addiction or cell phones in schools. So here's psychological aspects. I think that's kind of cool. So we're going to click on that because I might be interested in it. And all of a sudden, it's opening up a pretty big can of worms. Sexual behaviors and transmission risk among people living with HIV. What does this have to do with cell phones? I have no idea, but you could click on this and it will tell you. This is just the first one that's there because it was August 2016. So here's where it uses cell phones. 28 daily cell phone delivered prospective sexual behavior assessments. So that's how cell phones work in. So sometimes, like I said, it's just the word that it's looking at. And so that's not necessarily helpful. But here's evaluation of mobile phone addiction level and sleep quality in university students. This is from the Pakistani Journal of Medical Sciences. So not quite exactly what we're looking at because it's another country, but we can click on this. And what happens is that we get all these search terms. And now, mobile phone addiction. I'm going to look at that because maybe that's actually what I'm looking for. Now we have 37. This is just searching for mobile phone addiction. So there's some interesting things, but none of these seem to be limited to just the United States is what we should probably look at. Now, not that we can't just use some of these other country surveys and studies to understand American behavior, but we might want to find some things. So we have a search term, and these are looking at some various things, and these are all very interesting. So now we might want to look back and say, now we're getting some other things. So I click in cell phone addiction, I get 606. We're getting it in other languages. You can come over here into the show more, and you can limit it to English language. We cancel it out about 30. We're getting some really interesting words by a variant correlation of health literacy. So what we're able to do is start to get an idea of the size and the scope of this topic. We're not necessarily looking for arguments. We are looking for just basic information. Can I find information on my topic that might be interesting? Now we can look at other things, the smartphones, we can look at cell phones, we can look at all these sort of things. So the most difficult part of narrowing down your topic is making sure you find the right search terms. Some of the good things that academic search help you do is to get good information from trusted sources. So let's say this is a source we want to use. We have an abstract. Over here, we have a bunch of tools. Now you can email this to yourself. You can add it to a folder. You can export it. What I recommend you doing are a couple of things. First is open up a new document in Word. I don't have this prepared. I should have. So, unfortunately, I'm getting up old documents. Open up a new blank document. You can type in sources. And what you'll do is, I advise this. Click on this button that says Cite. It will show you all the various citations. Now this is 90-some% correct. Because it's all capitals there, we don't know really. So copy this. We go to MLA and just type in 1, put it there. It's going to come up with this funky thing, but we can get rid of that later. What I advise you next to do is copy the abstract. The abstract is a summary. Put that there. Now what we have is our source with a works cited and a summary. The last thing I'm going to ask you to do is go to permalink, because if you want to get back to this, you either have to search all over again or you need the link. Now the links are kind of difficult. They're not always useful, but it's good to have it, and you'll post that there. This is a permalink. You'll notice the works cited entry has the author, the title, where it came from, and then it says DOI. That stands for Digital Object Identifier. Sometimes it'll have a permalink, but if you go into your web search bar and copy that, it will no longer work. Instead, use the permalink function. Now you can collect a whole bunch of sources this way. In addition, I would save this, download the PDF. So click on this if this is something that you want. And it says we can't do it, but which is interesting. You're supposed to be able to get it, but you can download it and then save that as well. There's another thing called the plum metrics. It tells you how many times it's been used, how many times people have read it, and there's some other cool things that you can do. So there's a lot of useful tools from the PlumX matrix that talk about how it's being used, and sometimes it gives you citation information as in how often it was actually cited in other papers, so you get a better idea, and it's not coming up, of how it's been used. So academic search has a lot of great information. It is clunky to use at the beginning, but you are able to break things down using the source search terms. So I can look at this, maybe click on these two, maybe add college students and click on update, and I go from 500 sources, internet's a little slow today, to 156. you can start really reading these things, role depression, attachment styles, and predicting students' addiction to cell phones. Now we start to say, okay, well, not just, hey, students are addicted, but what can we do and what does it mean? And that's how we start to break down this topic. We got to start big and move it down. So this is the very beginning of using our research to narrow down our topics. You don't need to know exactly what you want to argue right away. You're going to develop that. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm sorry that link wouldn't open to show you how to download a PDF, but I think you'll be able to figure that out. Good luck.